Karibu mtazamaji. Pilika za mwisho zinaendelea katika Wizara ya Fedha kabla ya kusoma kwa makadirio ya bajeti ya mwaka huu. Mwandishi wetu Jimmy Mbogo anafuatilia pilika hizo kutoka makao makuu ya Wizara ya Fedha. Sasa tunaungana naye moja kwa moja ili aweze kutupasha kwa lugha ya Kiingereza. Jimmy.
All right, thank you very much, Babu. Of course, it is those very final minutes of the budget day here at the National Treasury, and I'm just looking at the program that we expected to follow around this time. What is currently going on is the grooming process, particularly just getting the Treasury officials ready for the photo session, which will be coming on from around between now and 1:30. And I just want you to walk with me. We want to try and see. We are in the hallway behind us, right there. That is where the Cabinet Secretary's office is, and right here is where the Principal Secretary's office is. We just want to see and to have a look of what normally happens a few minutes to before we get to see them outside their offices, and before we get to see what them officially dressed and ready to tell us what is happening with the budget. And as you can see, of course, the PS is getting his lapel pin done. Bona PS, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Are you feeling ready for the budget?
Quite ready.
So what should Kenyans expect?
Just the policy statement about what we plan for this fiscal year. So we are going to be focusing more on the expenditures for this year, but of course we have to focus on revenue-raising measures to fund the same expenditures that we are going to present. All
right, and of course I will let you get back to the preparation so that we can continue just getting ready for this next session. Again, we understand that the CS will be leaving the office at around 2:30. That is after a photo session that is expected to happen downstairs in front of the building. Of course, we have seen the briefcase earlier on. We saw the CS receiving now the final documents from the budget office, just trying to get ready for what is to come during the day. So we will allow the PS to continue getting ready with the preparation, even as we try and cover some of the other issues that have come out during this process. And of course, Babu, as you've rightfully said, there's a number of things that we'll be looking out during this year's budget, and particularly one of the issues that is expected to really feature prominently, and it is from what we've heard from Kenyans, is the question around financing of this budget. This has been quite a thorn in the flesh of this government, just trying to ensure that the revenues raised again will be able to meet the funding needs that we require. And of course, earlier on we had that session with the Cabinet Secretary, and one of the things that he said, the reason that we are seeing a bit of reduction in terms of budgetary allocation is majorly because, again, we have a budget and we cannot meet all the needs. And this is what the CS had to say around just the funding mechanism for this year's budget and for the 2024-2025 budget. Let's just listen in first.
We have reversed our 20 years effort in terms of poverty reduction and inequality. The drought itself affected not only household inequality but also regional inequality in a big way. It is one of the most catastrophic issues that you can deal. So what are we saying? We are saying strong evidence of economic recovery. But that recovery is fragile. It has to be supported. Strong policies, strong policy reforms, strong programs, and very, very strong and targeted interventions. Interventions to correct virtually everything. This is how to put, that is the way we need to support it. You can imagine, for example, right now, every time we turn, what is one of the damaging, or should I say, severe problems that we face? Debt, isn't it? We have to solve it with different dimensions. The most important thing is to realize that every time the budget is mentioned, everybody talks about taxes, revenue measures, revenue-raising measures. But that is just one component. You're asking yourself, why do we raise revenue? There is one problem I want to emphasize. But it is not one problem. It is actually one problem in three problems. We call them trilemma. There is a one dilemma, but composed of three dilemmas, so we call it a trilemma. One of the things is that everything and everywhere you turn, everyone wants government to spend more, to increase expenditure. We want roads, we want electricity, healthcare, education. So everybody wants the government to spend more. But for government to finance those aspects, healthcare, infrastructure, electricity, education, all those, it requires a lot of revenue. The only way you can finance that is through tax revenue or debt. There is nothing like closing up or relocating. This is a political agenda. Let me tell you, everywhere you go, we try to balance out policies so that nobody feels disadvantaged. Okay? That is a hearsay that you're talking about. Let me tell you, there is nowhere in Kenya that you have raised taxes to the point where farms can close down. Give me an example. I've been living in this country. I've done most of the policy work in my own individual capacity, and I can tell you I have all those. Don't forget, I would like you to go and read the book that we developed in 2002 when Kenyans were so depressed, and it is restarting and sustaining growth in Kenya. You read that and you tell me what you have said is incorrect. If you read that, there are several chapters, you realize that what you are really saying has no basis. It is the whole issue about policy is to balance policy reforms, to balance programs, and finally to balance interventions. There's no way you can come up with policies that kill even a household or an industry. So let's move away from those points that have no even relevance, because it's not true. Who would want to do that?